Hey everyone, Wyduck here again, this time with Game 2 of a Best of 3 series from the Group D, part of the WCS Season 2 Finals. And this time on Newkirk Precinct, we've got spawning in the bottom left as the red Zerg. We've got Team Acer's Scarlett. She was able to get victory in Game 1 over her teammate that is spawning in the bottom right as the blue Terran. We have Team Acer's MMA. And if you haven't checked out Game 1, I highly encourage you to do so. Game 1 was very, very interesting near the end. There's a part of the game where there was 42 banelings, and then those banelings got used up, and then a whole bunch more got created, and they just rolled through into MMA's base and wreaked havoc across all the Marine infantry lines and melted basically the entire Marine squadron. And that's just one sight to behold, all that green acid. So it was very interesting to see that. So Scarlett is up 1-0. Interesting here, Scarlett's looking for proxies with that drone. So I'm not sure if it's because Scarlett knows that MMA likes to proxy, or just wants to make sure that she doesn't get caught off guard by cheese. So she's going to lose some resources for that. She's not able to see anything in her direct line of view. She's going to plant that hatchery down. So it's going to delay her hatchery just a little bit. MMA is going for barracks first. Now, the previous game, he did go for 14cc on the low ground, and he still wasn't able to get victory. So it looks like he's going to be going for a Reaper opening instead, and Reapers are a very good choice on Newkirk. There's so many ramps to jump up and down to get to your opponent's base, and the Reaper is going to be able to escape a lot of those defenses from the Zerg player. Zerglings really hate the Reaper, especially on this map, because there's just so many ways into your base. Scarlett's Overlord is going to be able to scout this refinery, and that's one of the things I really wonder. If MMA put the refinery on this side instead, then it might have given MMA a few more seconds of the element of surprise, because once you see gas, you're probably thinking, oh, it's going to be a Reaper opening. And the Reaper is halfway across the map. But if MMA put the refinery on this side instead, then maybe Scarlett would have been delayed a few moments. And instead, because Scarlett saw that, immediately she was putting up more Zerglings and more Queens. And the Reaper is going to be harassing the mineral line now, but the two Zerglings are out. And we'll never know if that refinery was on the right side instead, if the Zerglings would have came out a few moments later, giving MMA a chance to destroy a couple drones. There is one drone here at the natural, so Scarlett is going to retreat with that drone, but we've got 4 Zerglings here now, and especially on the creep, that Reaper is going to have a lot of problems. A second Reaper is going to help reinforce, but with the Queen here giving that very vital ranged attack, it'll be very difficult for these Reapers to do any real damage. And so this has been a great hold by Scarlett. And now the Reapers are just going to be hanging out while the second command center is almost complete for MMA. The factory is finished and connected to that reactor, and we've got a third CC at the 5.5 minute mark. So MMA behind this is thinking Scarlett is not going to be able to push, and that's probably a pretty good deduction here. The Queens are going to try and repel these Reapers once again. One of them is in the red, and they're both going to retreat to regenerate some life. So Reaper's not able to do any damage. No units lost, or any units that cost any resources anyways. So Scarlett has been defending very well. We've got more Hellions on the way. 2 are already out. And we've got this Overlord scouting over here as there are no Marines. And so Scarlett is going to get that free scout for a while. But Scarlett has to be careful here. The Queens were temporarily off the creep, and now with 2 Hellions and 2 Reapers, if Scarlett's not careful, they might be able to do a successful run-by and get into the main. And if a whole bunch of Hellions and some Reapers get into the main, that drone line will be easily sacrificed. So Scarlett is going to put up 2 Evo chambers here at the ramp. And that is not a bad decision. But she's going to have to reinforce with something else. She's got a third queen here. So both players playing cat and mouse. 4 Hellions are going to try and rush up in here, but MMA thinks better of it and is going to retreat once again. We've got 1-1 upgrades coming from Scarlett. So once again, she will have the upgrade advantage compared to her Terran opponent. Just the same situation as the previous game. MMA now has 6 Hellions, but one of them is in the red. And Scarlett is going to be putting down that third hatchery right in front of MMA's face. Those Hellions are going to be able to put away at that hatchery. And actually going to do more damage than the hatchery is able to generate while the hatchery is building. The queens are off the creep. And if the Hellions do go around, they might be able to get in. But the Hellions are going to be poking at that hatchery instead. Transfuse does go down on one of the queens, but the queens are way off the creep. So if MMA had a whole bunch of units here, might be able to swing by and trap the queens. But now I don't think that's going to be possible, as there are multiple creep tumors going down here. The queens now have enough speed to deal with it, and Scarlett has a lot of Zerglings as well. MMA is building a lot of barracks. He's got 3 up already, adding on reactors. He's getting a 4th one online very soon. At the same time, Scarlett has the Baneling's Nest on the way, and that was kind of the key to victory in the previous game. We'll have to see if the Banelings do play a similar role this time again. But unfortunately, what you want to do is when you have those Hellions and Reapers, what you want to do with them is you want to poke at the Zerg player, you want to destroy scouting Zerglings, you want to destroy those creep tumors, but MMA was only able to kill 2 creep tumors, and because of that, look at this creep spread. We're 10 minutes in the game, and the creep spread is about 45% across the map. So it's been a great creep spread by Scarlett, and MMA has not been able to really deter any of that creep spread, and this is going to be a problem later on in the game. Because the more and more creep tumors there are, obviously later on in the game, that means more and more vision and speed accessibility for the Zerg player. But not only that, as a Terran player, that means you have to spend more and more energy for scans to clean up this purple gunk. Because if you want to advance safely as a Terran player, you generally do not want to engage on the creep. And you also don't want to give away your locations to the Zerg player. So this is really going Scarlett's way. MMA does have a slight supply advantage, but I think Scarlett is doing quite well here. One queen does go down, and now MMA is going to push in here. He's got stim ready. Doesn't have, and also has combat shields, and is able to clean up some of those creep tumors, and this is a good play. Left one of the active creep tumors. Unfortunately for MMA, going to clean up that Overseer as well. So some Terran aggression here is going to lead to some losses for our Zerg player. But overall, MMA is doing a good job now cleaning up those creep tumors. He wants to continue, once again, cleaning up even more of this creep, trying to get this purple stuff to recede. But MMA has to be very careful here, as there are a lot of Zerglings and a few Banelings behind this attack force from Scarlett. Scarlett is getting her 4th base as well. And we've got 4 Mutalisks behind this. 2 upgrades are being upgraded by both players, so no one has the upgrade advantage currently. But I think Scarlett does have the element of surprise with those Mutalisks. 2 medevacs are boosting into the main. Zerglings are already there, and so I don't think this attack from MMA is going to do very much. The mines are going to burrow, but they're not going to be able to get away any of their shots, and both medevacs are going to go down, blown up. And there is no debris, so those medevacs went down very quickly, and MMA is going to have to retreat. And now Scarlett does have a 20 supply advantage, so MMA is going to have to play catch-up here. He's building missile turrets in his base, which is not a bad idea. Missile turrets can keep those Mutalisks away just a little bit, but we've got a confrontation at the 3rd. We've got all the Zerglings and Mutalisks trying to fight off these Marines. The Marines are stimming and kiting away, and now they're lining up at the bunkers. And Scarlett is withdrawing. The Banelings are all gone. So that engagement was a pretty good one for our Terran player. At the same time, he is harassing at the 4th base of Scarlett. He's got 5 Stim Marines here. The Mutalisks are trying to clean up here, but 5 Marines on 1 Mutalist is not a very good deal for that Mutalist. So the Zerglings are going to come in here and assist. Those Marines are picked apart. So Scarlett is able to adequately defend her 4th base. At the same time, we've got another drop coming in the lower portion of the map. But unfortunately, there's so many Overlords here that the Mutalisks are going to be able to detect it immediately. So MMA is going to withdraw. He's also got another large attacking force at the center of the map. Gonna pull south just for a bit while stimming forward. There's only 1 lone medevac here. 1 medevac cannot adequately heal so many Marines. Scarlett is gonna push all her Mutalisks into the main base. That turret goes down very quickly. And now the Mutalisks are in the production area of the Terran player. But Scarlett is going to withdraw, and that's one of the advantages of the hit and run of the Mutalisks. So, gotta watch out, Scarlett's going to lose a lot of Mutalisks here. Wow, 5 Mutalisks shot down for the price of nothing. So Scarlett with a big loss there, but can MMA maintain the momentum? He's got a lot of stimmed and damaged Marines here, not enough medevac, so the Zerglings are streaming in here. We've got Banelings behind this attack as well. Marines are fighting for their life, but they're getting chewed up very well by the Zerglings. And the Banelings are behind, trying to get some good connections. We've got a couple good ones going on. We've still got a lot of Mutalisks, and MMA is going to withdraw into his natural. His 3rd has been lifted, and the 4th command center is not going to finish. Going to get the cancel on that. So MMA is going to be behind by quite a bit. Look at this. He's behind by 60 supply. He had to lift that 3rd base for a bit, so he's losing a lot of mining time. At the same time, he still doesn't have his 4th, while Scarlett has her 4th up. And the units lost is even, but remember, because Scarlett has been on the 3rd and 4th bases a lot longer than MMA has, even though resources lost is fairly even, it doesn't mean that the Zerg player is behind. And now Scarlett is going to finish off all the SCVs in the main. The Marines are going to stim in here, but unfortunately, this little gap in space is not going to let the Marines chase them. And now another attack at the 3rd. The missile turret does go down, and MMA is going to have to tap out. Scarlett once again showing why she's such an effective Zerg player. Great map control, great vision with those creep tumors, and just able to harass and pick away at MMA. And so she's going to take this series 2-0. And I will see you guys next time.